Hey people, it's Chimera, and you're watching the Tyrant's Legendary Walkthrough for Halo Anniversary. Today, you'll be searching for the index in the library.
It's library, god damn it!
What's going on, you guys, and welcome to Tyrant's Halo Anniversary Legendary Guide. Today we're doing the most feared mission in the entire Halo series, and that's the library, so do not hate on me too much for having Bandanna activated. I do have Iron and Boom activated as well, and pardon me for being a little bit drunk. It seems to be the best phase where I play these missions. Or at least these really, really difficult ones. And the library, even I admit I'm afraid of. Now we've got infection forms here. Toss a grenade over there. Wipe them out. We've got a carrier hiding over here. You want to keep the carrier forms away from you, particularly if you have Boom activated, because they hurt badly. And for that matter, if you see any combat forms that drop any stray grenades, try to get those out of your way too. I can't tell you how many times I've been killed on this mission simply by stray grenades that I was not keeping track of. Now you can actually skip this section by RC Master's video. I'll talk about that in a second, but a bunch of flood infection forms are about to drop out from this vent right here. It's only one wave this time. Love it while you can, because typically they come in multiple waves. We're going to use the assault rifle to wipe out these infection forms. Yeah, I've had a little too much beer. Wiping out the infection forms is not paramount, but it does help you a lot. On Legendary, they still only put a slight dent in your shields, but if you lose shields, they really do literally eat you. They eat away at your health. Now over here, you've got some combat forms hiding behind those little side sections right there. Columns. We'll call them columns for the sake of the walkthrough. And I like taking out the infection or carrier forms with a pistol from a distance where they can't hurt you. Once again, we're whipping out the assault rifle to clean up these infection forms a little bit, which will be replaced later by the shotgun. That's one of the advantages of fighting this section out, is you get a shotgun early on. Shotguns are really good for taking out combat forms at close range, pistols for long range, and the grenades help keep them at bay. Now, if you're really good with grenade jumps, I highly recommend taking out or checking out RC Master's video, which shows you how to skip this section. Oh, multiple waves, multiple waves. Back up, back up. It shows you how to basically keep the flood from spawning all the way to the first doorway. Now, I'm not going to lie. Grenade jumps in Halo 1 are very difficult, particularly if the grenade bounces. Timing their detonation is somewhat challenging, as opposed to Halo 2, 3, ODST, and Reach. So, what I'm doing here is basically going to show you how to hopefully beat this mission without grenade jumps at all. Now, again, shotgun. Now again, I highly recommend just fighting out these waves as they come. This is probably one of the things I hate about this mission the most, is you get stuck in the same area over and over again. Do not be afraid to backtrack. This is one of those missions where the flood just spawn in front of you and behind you. The key is always keeping the flood in front of you. You don't want to get surrounded. Now over here you're going to have a little bit of flood just hiding around the sides. So, again, just take them out as best you can. I like to toss a grenade, hide behind some sort of solid object so that the grenade explosion does not hurt you. And there's a loose grenade right there, so just be a little bit careful. Fortunately, we weren't full on plasma grenades yet, so we could pick them up. Playing this without Bandanna isn't that bad. There's tons of flood that spawn with shotguns and pistols, but it's the grenades that really do help you here. Again, it just kind of keeps the flood at bay. Now we're going to follow Guilty Spark through this doorway right here. Again, multiple waves of flood are going to show up through these two ventilation shafts. That's the first wave right there. There we go. Again, mop up the infection forms. You never know when you're going to accidentally get your shields knocked out and the flood infection forms will finish you off. Whoa, whoa. Back up, back up. There we go. Whoa, no, no, no. Ah, see, look at that. So another reason why you want to take out the infection forms is you never know when that surprise carrier form is going to jump out at you. Keep an eye on your radar. Your radar is your best friend in this mission. There we go. Another wave. If you can take out the carrier forms first, they kind of act as their own grenades. So if any combat forms are surrounding them, they'll take them out as well. The problem with using grenades against carrier forms is they launch them all over the place, and you never know when one's going to wind up beside you. Okay, we finally, it looks like, oh, no, more coming out. Crap. So we're going to lure them towards us and just take them out that way. Carrier forms, again, are going to be top priority. Whoa, Jesus! Okay, now we're not in a good position here. That's what I mean about stray grenades. And grenades can fly off of dead carrier or combat forms as well. And more combat forms. Crap. Place your grenades wisely when you're using the boom skull. That's all I can say. Alright, so more carrier forms here. That was stupid. I didn't mean to launch a grenade right there. Okay. See, they keep an eye on the ones that get launched because you don't want them ending up beside you. Once again, I know I'm probably going to say that 100 times during this guide, but I'm not completely coherent right now, and it's a very important thing to remember. Again, the pistol is great for sniping flood at a distance, so take advantage of it. The shotgun fires about 12 to 14 projectiles at a time. I forget which it is. So it's great for taking out these infection forms at close range. Now, typically when Spark decides to meander off, that's a bad thing. But since we've already taken out the flood from this area, you won't have to worry about any opposition. See, check it out. Nothing going on.
Follow closely. This portal is the first of 10.
Now here's where things start getting interesting. You start entering these really wide corridors where flood starts spawning both in front of you and behind you. Wait for him. Okay, nothing will come out of that first one, but the second one is going to start spawning flood combat forms. So again, use your grenades to keep the flood at bay. And again, if you think there are any loose grenades laying around, don't be afraid to toss another grenade over there just to detonate them so you don't have to worry about them later. Because the carrier forms will also cause a chain reaction, kind of like that. These little side pockets right here are also really good to note, so that if you cannot pass the flood that have spawned in behind you, you could easily duck into one of these pockets and once again keep the flood in front of you. Now these little glass windows right here are breakable, and they're basically bottomless pits, so don't walk over them if you can help it. Okay, combat form hadn't seen me yet. Or carrier. But that's a good example of the flood spawning in front of you and behind you. So again, these side pockets really do come to your advantage. Do not underestimate them. Again, the key to beating this mission is A, not being afraid to backtrack, and B, keeping the flood in front of you at all times. Do not get overwhelmed. Apparently there was some flood infection forms trapped down there. Great. These things are just a pain in the butt. I swear I'll never look at popcorn the same way again. Alright, so moving forward, these little corridors up ahead I like to call the TV sections because they have what look like giant TVs lining the walls. I don't know what they are. I'd love to know what purpose they serve. But this is one of those sections where multiple waves of flood are going to spawn. So you just kind of have to wait it out. It's boring. It sucks. It's probably one of my least favorite things about this mission. RC Master does rush this a little bit, but it's risky. It can be done, but it's risky. So if you want to play this safe, I highly recommend just waiting it out. Use your radar to determine whether or not flood are actually going to spawn. They are not infinitely spawning. They do have set numbers of waves, so you can take them out at your own leisure. And thank God they are not good shots even on Legendary. They are better shots with human weapons, however. So if you see a flood with a human weapon, particularly a shotgun or a pistol, make that one of your top priorities. Of course, the worst flood to fight here is the rocket flood. Fortunately, there aren't too many of them in this mission, unlike the next one, 2 Betrayals, where they seem to litter the whole damn thing. There's only a couple of instances here where you have to deal with rocket flood. And as long as they're at a distance, you can dodge the rockets pretty easily. Okay, so it looks like we're done with the waves here. We can continue forward, thank God. More will spawn right up ahead. Again, check your radar. And keep them at a distance the best you can, particularly if you're using grenades. See, there we go. Another chain reaction. That's something you do not want to be in the middle of. And I apologize for ending my sentences in a preposition. Okay, usually if there's multiple ways in the first TV corridor, there won't be in the second one. At least not too bad. Not coming out from the sides anyway. We've got tons of flood spawning from these ventilation shafts. But again, just keep your distance. Aim for the carriers first. And particularly if you're not using Bandanna. The carriers are like flood grenades. There is a... Whoa. Alright, so we just picked up a health pack. This is the first one you're really going to encounter. We needed it badly. With only 3 bars of health left. And right in that little dip up ahead, there is an overshield. It's great for just putting a little bit of a buffer between you and any accidents that might happen. And believe me, in this mission, they are prevalent. Okay, so we're going to jump down here real quick and grab this overshield. There we go. And again, just watch your motion tracker as best you can. Alright, so we've got carriers spawning in from those ventilation shafts. So again, this is a time where you need to backtrack. Toss those grenades to get groups of combat forms. That's the best time to use grenades, is when you see a bunch of them just grouped up together. Again, you should primarily be using the pistol to take out carriers. And of course, you can use the pistol to take out infection forms from a distance. If they start closing in, use the shotgun. From a distance, the shotgun spreads a little too much, so it won't help you out a whole lot. It must be nice to be able to fly, Guilty Spark, you bubbling bastard. Okay, another wave of flood is popping out of the ventilation shafts. It's amazing that anyone got this far. You see bodies of Marines laying around here from time to time. How did they do it without shields? I have no idea. Okay, so we can see from our motion tracker we're about to get swarmed. So again, just toss some grenades, keep the buffer alive, and you'll be fairly safe. And there's a bunch of, again, those breakable glass windows over there, so I highly recommend just taking out as many flood as you can before crossing them. That way, if you're backtracking, you won't accidentally step into one. God, there's so many of these things. I think people dislike this mission not so much because it's difficult, but because it's extremely repetitive. You're basically doing this for 4 floors. We're still on the first one. This is one of those multiple flood wave spawning areas, as you can see. The same flood is jumping out of the same ventilation shaft. So it's just a matter of making sure that you take them out to the point where no more flood are spawning. Thank God they don't infinitely spawn. Another one of those TV areas. I don't think we'll have too much trouble here. The pistol seems a lot more reliable than the shotgun. The pistol and the shotgun are the two best weapons that you can use to combat the flood. And again, the grenades kind of keep them at a distance. Keep them from swarming on your location. I could have sworn there was one hiding over there. I could be wrong. I'm half delirious right now, so who knows. Oh, must have. I saw that explosion over there. Alright, so crossing into the next TV corridor. Oh, finally! The first elevator. Now, a bunch of flood combat forms are going to run out from right there. One grenade should do the trick. They are not multiple waves, it's just one. So once you knock out the bulk of them, you can proceed to the elevator without any real opposition. First floor down, 3 to go. I think infection forms are really the only types of flood that can attack you while you're on the elevator itself. Now we're going to walk over here. A bunch of carriers are going to drop down from the ventilation shaft on the immediate right. I do recommend taking them out simply because if you don't, they're going to follow you later. So we're going to turn around right here once we have a safe distance and just nuke them. That way you have the freedom to backtrack as much as you want to. That's the key in this mission, just being able to backtrack. Okay, there's health packs right there if you need them. So far, we're doing pretty good. God, over and over and over again. So many infection flood. A single flood spore can destroy a species. Except for the Master Chief. Okay, once again you're going to have flood that just start pouring out. Again, keep the flood in front of you. Avoid the carriers. This is where backtracking really does come in handy. That carrier did a number on our shields, but did not take them out entirely. So far, we're doing pretty good. Now, once it says that you have a checkpoint, that means you don't have to worry about flood anymore, and you can proceed through the door. That seems to be taking forever to open. This guy didn't have any arms. Ha! Pet flood, pet flood. Melee does absolutely nothing against Halo Combat Evolved Flood, unlike in Halo 3, where melee seems to do a significant amount of damage. Now, here is the first of the wide corridors. Now, you can combat the flood if you choose to with the Sentinels, which, by the way, are great, but all they really serve on Legendary is a distraction. But I'm going to show you how to get around this area without facing any flood at all. These jumps are really easy. They don't require any grenades, any crouching, really. I tend to crouch just to make sure that I have plenty of clearance, but nothing really important going on here. Your Sentinels will get owned entirely, but who cares? They're not you. Easy passage to the next doorway. Thank God. Now, as you look to your right over here, you'll see the flood just kind of chilling out. Don't attack them, and they won't attack you. So now you're just going to try to chill here. Again, the door gets stuck. Apparently, this was very poorly planned by Guilty Spark. But you won't have any opposition to worry about here except a few infection forms. Some will be hiding just beyond the doorway. Others will be spawning in from the elevator shaft. If you toss a grenade in here, let's see if we can do this. I want to see if I can kill them in advance. I've never done this before. There we go. Okay, so no more flood infection forms beyond the door. So now we just need to take out these, bring out your shotgun, since they're so close, and just mow them down. It's okay if a couple of them hit your shield, but you want to try to keep as many of them off you as possible. Now here's one thing I love about Anniversary. They have the arrows. It's easy to find your way around. In fact, each level of the library is colored a little bit differently. The first was a bit kind of amber or orange. This one's a little bit more blue. These flood you can avoid if you want to. We just need to drop down into that little tunnel up ahead, the first of 3. But again, I like to wipe out everything. So for those of you who hate the fact that I skip things typically, well, carriers, then this is for you. Because I pretty much mow everything down. No, 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 no. Oh, wow, okay. Almost got our shields. They're at critical state, but they're still active. Now, it should be noted that because Anniversary has this little niche where sometimes things don't explode until you round the corners. So sometimes I toss a grenade around the corner just to ensure that there's nothing waiting around within 2 feet, waiting for me just to die or get ambushed. Now, this is another section where you have multiple waves of flood. The Sentinels will try to help you. Wait, will they? No, I don't think the Sentinels are here. Never mind. That would be the next one. So wait for the combat forms to bunch up, and then just take them out with grenades. But again, make sure there are no loose grenades or carrier forms close to you that could kill you in the secondary explosions. So we're gonna, there we go. You got these carrier forms. This is one of the great things about the pistol. You can take out these carriers from a distance. I'm going to toss a grenade right there just to make sure there aren't any loose grenades laying around. And we've got more infection forms. Fantastic. Mop them up. That wasn't too bad. Well, these last 2 just hit and do a whole lot of damage. And we have another TV corridor.
Flood begins to alter the atmosphere. You are a good planner.
More multiple waves of flood spawning both in front of you and behind you. So again, just backtrack a little bit. It looks like the carriers are coming out of the shaft from the rear and combat forms from the front. Carrier forms are fine as long as they don't sneak up on you. And judging by our radar, they're moving a little bit fast, so I'm guessing some combat forms dropped out from there too. Use the grenades to make sure they don't bunch up on you, and stay at a distance, and that shotgun is just floating there. Alright, so let's see if we can advance this time. Nope, not yet. Another wave of flood. Another chain reaction. This is what these TV corridors are known for. Oh, another one. They don't just come out of the ventilation shafts. They come out of the dark corners as well. They are not infinitely spawning as originally thought. They're just in multiple waves. They seem like they're infinitely spawning. They are a pain in the butt, but again, just hang back and take them out as they come. Oh, again. A useful tip for throwing grenades when you have boom activated is to jump behind a thick, solid object so that the grenade explosion does not hurt you. And again. Now, RSC Master does show you how to rush these types of areas, but again, it's a little bit ballsy and risky. I see a loose grenade, so we're going to detonate it. There we go. Keep us from getting caught in our own scum later. Alright, so there's some rocket flood hiding over there. If you take out the carriers, you can take out the rocket flood too, before they even get a shot off. It may be instinct to pick up the rocket launcher, but again, if you have boom activated, I don't recommend it. You already have the 2 weapons that you need, and the grenades suffice for explosion type weaponry. Oh, here we go. Over and over and over again. I will say the graphics do look a hell of a lot more beautiful and less mundane in the anniversary version of this. If you see any combat forms just hanging out on these columns right here, just take them out with the pistol. No big deal. They typically won't lunge at you as long as you keep your distance.
Was well conceived. It is surely the ultimate test of blood grit.
More carriers. Well, at least we know how the flood spread so quickly. Thankfully, they're not too great with weapons in terms of aim. If you do see flood combat forms with human weapons, they typically take top priority over flood combat forms with Covenant weapons, since they have more pinpoint accuracy. Well, almost snuck up on me there. See ya. Must be nice to be able to fly, Guilty Spark. Cheap bastard. Again, more carriers. Try to avoid grenades. Just simply because you want to keep an eye on where they launch to. If there's any sort of explosion that launches a carrier, you're always in danger of the carrier landing right next to you and doing some significant damage. Again, particularly with boom on, they're very dangerous. So stay away from them as best you can. Oh, more. This is not going to end well. Oh, brought my shields to critical again. But fortunately, we still have full health. So again, keep the infection forms at bay to make sure it stays that way. And then proceed forward. Mop up these infection forms as best you can. Oh, more again. Jeez. Oh, one snuck up on us. See what I mean? He not only knocked out our shields, but also a couple of bars of health. Not a big deal. It could have been worse, but still. That's why you want to always keep your eye on your radar. And we're on another TV section. Let's see. I see... Nope. Alright, run. Always keep the flood in front of you. Alright, when your shields start giving off that little siren, that means back away. Do not take any chances with these infection forms. Tyrant like shotgun. Shotgun good. Alright, let's see if we can enter this thing now. Looks like no opposition so far. Daddy like. And next elevator. Fantastic. Now we can go from the 2nd floor to the 3rd floor. We're about halfway there. Now actually the 4th floor isn't that bad. It's very short compared to the rest of them. Nothing can really attack you here except for infection forms, so no real big deal. Unless you try really, really hard. No, that was not a euphemism. So now we're entering the 3rd floor right here. Nothing so far. We're looking good. Another TV section, and whoop, there's Guilty Spark. Alright, so those guys up ahead signify that we're going to be entering the second tunnel of 3. These sentinels seem to pop up in the worst possible places. There's so many other areas where we could have used them. Okay, so we're going to jump down here. I think it's mainly combat forms on the other end. Maybe 1 or 2 carrier forms as well. So we're going to toss grenades, see if we can get them all to bunch up together. And then use the pistol to finish them off. Flood with no arms are really no threat to you, but they're kind of annoying, so take them out anyway. Oh, more. And we got rid of a few loose grenades there too. Always a good thing, just in case there's a carrier hiding. Whoop! The carrier hiding right behind the corner, just like that. Toss grenade, just in case there's one waiting for us. Can't tell if there was or not. But no sense in taking any chances, right? Right. Alright, once again, there are going to be a lot of spawning flood. Whoa. Alright, watch this guy. Make sure he doesn't blow up near you. The sentinels are going to really help here to mop up the infection flood. Always a good thing. They don't last very long. Amazing considering they are Forerunner technology, but they're certainly better than nothing. Whoa. Alright, so we're going to duck back down here now that our shields are flashing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, shields are down. That's not good. Duck back behind here. Carrier form. No, 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 no. Oh, thank God. That was close. There are obviously some combat forms attacking that sentinel, so we just nuked them. And apparently the sentinel too. Whoops. You know the drill at this point. Take out any infection forms you see, just to save you a little bit of trouble later. Gonna take these side pockets lightly just to make absolutely sure. So far the TV area is being good to us. Alright, so I remember this section. This is bad. A lot of flood are gonna spawn here, so as soon as you trigger them, start running. There are going to be multiple waves of flood until Guilty Spark manages to open that door. Apparently the Forerunner did not keep their facility very up to date. Of course, granted, it's kind of hard when you're dead. But apparently they didn't program their monitor very well. So many jams here. You wouldn't really believe this is a facility that was built by an extremely advanced alien race. So we're going to advance a little bit. Seems a little too quiet. And yep, backtrack again. I tell you, the motion tracker really does help out here a lot. Definitely lets you know when flood are coming. And not in that sort of way. So let's see, how are we doing over here? Oh, one's kind of stuck. There, put him out of his misery. Now I'm pretty sure another... Whoa! Back! Back! I'm pretty sure another wave of flood is going to spawn. Yep, here we go. That's why you don't want to venture too far out. You don't want to be caught in a place where you can't go back as far as you need to. That's the worst possible scenario for this mission. Alright, so now that we have the checkpoint, that means the door is open. We shouldn't have any more waves of flood spawning, so we can proceed forward. Alright, so we have another one of those wide corridors here. One of these guys has a rocket launcher, so be very careful. Well, there we go. One grenade took him out, but we're not going to take any more chances at this point, so go ahead and do what we did before and just jump over these things. No flood opposition here at all. But if you go the other way, you will run into some flood opposition, so I always recommend going to the right. Right as rain. There's the terminal there if you haven't gotten it yet, and I know I haven't, but I'll get to it later. That's our goal, right there. That big cave. The Tyrant and big holes. There's some attraction there, but I don't know what it is. I can't quite pinpoint it exactly. So, once again, we avoided all of the flood. This door is already open. Fan-flippin-tastic. And it's the same game once again. Just check your radar, see where they're pouring out of the ventilation shafts, and backtrack where you need to. Another health pack.
To see that some of them survive to reproduce.
Whoa. No, 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 no. They like to pop up in the most random places, I swear. The flood. It's like a living STD. Now we almost got the... There we go. Again, I like to make sure that there are no stray grenades laying around. It's sometimes hard to tell if there's frag grenades or if there's just flood pieces.
Oh, hello.
Another one of those multi-wave spawning TV corridors. Yep, here we go. I'm going to try to be a little bit more aggressive here so we don't have to stay here too long. This gets a little bit boring after a while. God, there's so many of them. Well, at least I can see... Whoa, shotty. And loose grenades on top of that. So glad we took care of that. More. Jeez, okay. Can't be so aggressive here, apparently. No. Alright, I think we're good now, so we're going to try to proceed forward. Carriers, take them out. Of course, I've run out of ammo right now. Or at least in my clip, anyway. So because we had multiple waves spawning in that particular section, it shouldn't be too bad in this one. That poor combat form. Alright, now this is what I like to call a hiding section. All you really need to do here is just jump behind one of these columns and just wait. That door was open, this one is not. So once again, Spark has to figure out why this door is broken and fix it. So we're just going to chill out here for a few minutes. So, how about them Yankees? Yeah, I don't watch them either. Gonna twist this around. Yeah, that's right. Make sure it's all steady and sturdy. Don't know where it's been. Considering that we had a shotgun in 343 Guilty Spark and God knows that same little robot took it from us. You can keep twisting it all you want to. It's not going to change anything. This mission will still suck. Though it is a lot prettier now than it was in Halo, the original Halo Combat Evolved. Now, hiding back here allows you to avoid the flood. If they do, for whatever reason, spot you, then you can easily lure them back here and just, kind of like the actual Spartans, just use that narrow corridor to take them out, as they all fled into a narrow space. Stupidly, might I add. Now, when these doors open, I believe sentinels will engage them, yes, and they'll all come running out. So now you can use your grenades and just nuke them as they start running. They won't pay a whole lot of attention to you. I swear, I don't know if these sentinels are here more to help or just to mark where you are in the mission.
Time is short.
Oh, more waves of flood. What a surprise. Alright, we're going to toss a grenade there. And whoops. Shit. Did not mean to wipe out half of my allied force there. But at least just in case anything were to come our way, well, it wouldn't have really mattered anyway. They don't really travel up with you, as far as I know. It's just carriers here, so you can take them out at your own leisure, or try to run past them, which I would not recommend with Boom Skull on. And now enter the third elevator, which will take you to the fourth and final floor. This one is not nearly as bad. Whoop, beam me up, Scotty. This one isn't nearly as bad as the previous three. It's a lot shorter, but there's still a lot of flood to deal with. God, I would love a super weapon right about now. Hell, some people say I already have a super weapon. Giggity. Alright, so moving forward, this one is red, signifying the fourth floor, right into the TVs. Alright, so some carriers are hiding out right here. Dispatch them. Run. There we go. Do not want those taking us off guard. Again, the sentinels are pretty decent about mopping up infection flood, but that's about it. I think all things considered, seeing a few infection or carrier forms lingering around here isn't so bad. And another TV corridor. Alright, how bad will this be? So far so good. Well, there we go. I knew he was hiding around here somewhere. Alright, well, there we go. Yep, I knew they were coming. Signature TV corridor trait. Got rid of those loose grenades as well. Always a good thing. More flood. Really, you couldn't come up with another formula for this mission. That's right. You just corpse humped the hell out of that thing. You've earned it, even though I killed it. See, look what happens. You corpse hump and you're taken off guard. Alright, are we done yet? Nope. Let's do it again. Up, shields are at a critical state, so again, let them recharge. Alright, well, there's some hiding out over there, but I think they're done spawning in, hopefully. Ah. More again. Ah, no. Okay, fortunately there's a spare health pack right here, so we're going to pick it up. We kind of need it right now. More yet again. This is horrible. Alright, let's toss a grenade over there, make sure nothing explodes. Alright, so we're good. And we have another one of these closed-in sections, so once again, you can opt to hide if you want to. Oh wait, there's a tunnel. It's on the other side. This is the third and final tunnel. Take out the carrier forms from a distance. Once we reach past that door on the other side, which is basically what this tunnel does, it allows us to get behind that door. You can opt to hide again, but you have to be quick about it. It's not quite as sound as the previous one. I knew there was a carrier hiding behind there, that sneaky little bastard. Alright, will this be another infinitely spawning? No. Okay, so at this point you can opt to hide if you want to. We're going to try our best to stay out of the way as best we can. At the very least, even if you can't really hide from the flood, it makes it so they can only come at you from one direction. Oh, that bastard has a shotgun. So once again, use your motion tracker to your advantage and just take them out while you can. One of the advantages of hiding on this side is that you can annihilate the waves of flood so that when you do emerge, you don't have to worry about anyone shooting you from the back. There we go. Oh, more. I swear, these flood are like Agent Smith. More. More. Only human. At least we don't have any loose grenades back here. That would just spell disaster right about now. Alright, are we done yet? Alright, I think we are. Thank God. Okay, so again, just sort of take your time here. This is the 4th floor, so this is the final stretch. You don't want to screw up here. Particularly if you, like me, and you prefer to do these runs with no deaths. There's another health pack there if you need it, but so far we're doing pretty good, surprisingly. Even I'm a little bit surprised right now. That guy's just not dying. Oh, it's a carrier, that's why. And another dreaded TV section. Great. But fortunately, this is the last one, I believe, that you're going to face. After that, you have one final door to go through, and then you have a clear path to the index. Of course. Now, this is one of those spots where they're spawning in front of you and behind you. So, again, trick the game. Take advantage of it. Backtrack. Do not get overwhelmed here. You were so close to the finish line. Do not become a victim. Become a predator. That did not come out the way I thought it would. Alright, so now that we've got these guys cleaned up, again, keep your eye on your motion tracker here. I think it's pretty much carriers and infection flood doing most of the attacking here at this point, which is probably a good thing. They're a lot slower, and they don't shoot at you. But they do explode, so be careful. I don't think there are any flood over here. So far, so good. Fantastic. That is the final door over there. Tons of flood. Oh, here we go. I knew they'd be spawning in. But it looks like the opposition was pretty small. Okay, thank God. Just some carriers. Oh, a couple of combat forms. Fortunately, this is one of the areas I've repeated several times, and they are not respawning. The first time I beat this on Legendary, I was stuck here so much because I didn't understand the rhythm of it, but once I understood exactly how the flood works at this point, it's not that bad. They do not infinitely respawn here, or for that matter, there aren't really even multiple waves. It's just most of the flood at this point come from that door. And so as long as you know where they're coming from, and you have a lot of space here to backtrack, so take advantage of it. So as long as you know where they're coming from, you can beat them. Well, you little pus bucket. Now they're going to be pouring in from the door. So this is where you use your grenades just to kind of keep them at bay. Do not underuse them here. Look at all those combat forms. That was a lot of combat forms armed with weapons. Another chain reaction. Not a point where you want to get caught up with one of those things. Is that? No, he's dead. He's just stuck in the door. Fantastic. Okay, the index is right there, but don't run straight for it because the flood are going to spawn in from behind those little, I don't know what you call them, little structures right there. So here's what I recommend. They are multiple waves that spawn from here, but there's a way around it, and I'm going to show you how. Once you've gotten past the initial wave, kind of like we're doing right now, move over here to the left. Now you could opt to go to the other side if you really want to and cross over that way, but I'm going to show you something just a little bit faster. Now that you're over here, they will not infinitely respawn anymore, so you can just toss a couple of grenades to wipe out the stragglers. We are almost there. Come on. I know we can do this. And we're good. Clear path. Go for that index. Hardest mission in the series. Legendary. No deaths. Congratulations. Oh, thank God this is over with. I'm so relieved right now. Maybe I can stop drinking, but not guaranteed. Thank you so much for watching Tyrant's Legendary Guide for Halo Anniversary. Stay tuned next time where we do 2 betrayals on Legendary with no deaths. Just like the library with no deaths. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope this helps you with your own progress in the campaign. Once again, I'm the Tyrant, and thanks for watching.
Protocol requires that I take possession of the index for transport. Your organic form renders you vulnerable to infection. The index must not fall into the hands of the flood before we reach the control room and activate the installation. The flood is spreading. We must hurry.